welcome to Was It Something I Said, the panel show that celebrates the world of quotations. And you can quote me on that. German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "We should consider every day lost in which we have not danced at least once." By which reckoning, I have lost 13,941 days out of a possible 13,948. On Richard Iwadi's team is comedian Ed Byrne, and with Mickey Flanagan tonight is sports broadcaster Gabby Logan. To read out our quotations is someone who once said that the worst thing you can be is skint and famous. Well, that's after being skint and having Ebola. Please welcome actor and star of Quadrophenia, Phil Daniels. Gabby, what's your favourite quotation?
One has just sprung to mind, actually, which is subliminally quite a feminist quote by Ginger Rogers, who said, "Women do everything that men do, except backwards in high heels," referring to dancing, of course.
Yes.
And actually, I think, without getting too deep, that's kind of life, isn't it? Women do everything that men do, but backwards in high heels. Come on, ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't go on about it, though, do they? That's what I like about women. They never go on about how much they do. They just keep it inside. They just soldier on.
You think maybe it's the fact that they keep doing everything backwards in high heels is why they don't get paid as much as men?
No, it's a fact.
Some things are supposed to be done forwards. It's very rare that someone says, as a compliment, that your boss would say, "You've done this all backwards."
What about
It's very
moonwalking?
rare.
Can you moonwalk in high heels?
I think if you've made your sales, yes.
Well, our opening round is called Threesomes. Our panellists have to guess which of three famous people said a particular quotation. And you can play along at home by following @SomethingISaid on Twitter to unlock some extra clips. This week's Threesomes theme is fashion. And can we have the first quotation, please, Phil?
I don't believe in fad clothing. There are so many fads in fashion, and they're here today and gone tomorrow.
Who said it? Was it superstar pianist Liberace, fashion designer Vivienne Westwood, or TV presenter Noel Edmonds?
Liberace's found one fashion. He found that look and he never changed it, did he? He never camped it up or anything, did he? It looks like he's got a job on the shopping channel and he's sort of saying, "There's only 15 of these left." Send your offers in now. I'm that guy.
What are you doing now? Oh, Liberace! Oh, yeah, sorry. Michael Douglas has got nothing on you. That is...
You try to do Liberace. I've not seen a lot of him, but he used to go, "Hi there."
Only an 80s DJ would use the word fad, and that's Edmonds.
So you're sure it's Edmonds?
I don't
I
know.
think it's
I
Edmonds.
disagree. I think it's Vivienne Westwood.
Do you know what Vivienne Westwood says about being a fashion designer? She says, "I didn't want to be a fashion designer at all. For 15 years, I hated fashion."
Well, she's fucked up, hasn't she? She's fucked that up royally.
Vivienne Westwood used to have a shop on the King's Road with Malcolm McLaren, and in 1975, Johnny Rotten auditioned to be lead singer of the Sex Pistols there. Didn't Johnny Rotten also audition for your role in Quadrophenia, Phil?
I think he did, actually.
Did he get it?
I think he might have done. But they couldn't insure him.
He didn't get it.
I think he might have done.
That would have been mad.
What, he would have played the role if they'd got the insurance?
I mean, maybe it's apocryphal, but
Yeah.
I hear that.
How did your audition for it come up?
I was smoking a joint in a Zulu mud hut, and I got a phone call saying, "Come over to England and..."
Were you actually in a Zulu mud hut, or was it just really good gear you were smoking?
It was good gear, and we were really in a Zulu mud hut, yeah.
Were you in Zulu?
No, I was in Zulu Dawn, the prequel to Zulu.
Wow.
That's...
Yeah.
We got beat, and that one. Zulus win.
If you'd won against the Zulus in Zulu Dawn, they'd have to then reshoot Zulu as just a normal day. So we need an answer. Who said this?
I think it's Vivienne Westwood.
OK,
again.
let's have Vivienne Westwood, but I think it's Edmonds.
And what's your answer?
We're going to Liberace.
Liberace, Vivienne Westwood. Well, the answer is Liberace. Well done. What problem did Liberace say he had with his outfits?
They were obviously too heavy, so did he get some kind of chafing?
I mean, that's one of the most disgusting concepts. I think there's no doubt that Liberace had some sort of chafing.
David, did he used to get abuse from white van drivers? As they went past, Liberace, short you like that.
I don't think he put himself in a position where too many white vans could drive past him. I mean, he lived there.
Unless they're OK, why am I in Vegas? Whenever he's got a bit of right in it.
Why am I in Vegas? And why does Liberace walk to work? Of course, Liberace never came out of the closet in his lifetime. I'm not surprised. He was probably snagged on a diamond-encrusted jumpsuit. Phil, can we have our next quotation on the subject of fashion, please?
You don't become a fashion icon without having your own very clear view of what is fashion.
Is one of the same three. Could be Noel Edmonds, could be Vivienne Westwood, could be Liberace.
Noel Edmonds could easily have said it, because Noel Edmonds says anything while he's trying to fill time on Deal or No Deal. I think any collection of words you could think to put together, at some point, they've fallen out of his beardy pie hole as he's trying to make opening boxes interesting.
The game is, when you record it, you've got to just watch it on Sky Plus, so you don't have to listen to Noel Edmonds at all. And just get the boxes opening all the time. It takes about 40 seconds to watch the whole show.
40 episodes of Deal or No Deal, I'm going to watch them in an hour.
It can't be Noel Edmonds, because he found a fashion back about 30 years ago and he thought, that's it, I'm done. I'm not worrying about that anymore.
But that's men.
Yeah.
Men choose a point in their life, and that's it.
What Richard says is interesting, because I know that Mickey was a Fred Perry man in the 80s, and you had a Harrington jacket.
I did have a Harrington jacket.
And I know that from what you're wearing tonight.
Thanks.
I think it's Edmonds because he is incredibly more deluded than all of those other people. And also, you know, he has a helicopter. And so he apparently collects his supermarket shop in the helicopter. It says very easy. I just call them up about an hour before I get in the helicopter. They clear the car park for me. I just go in, go out, pick up the food, come back in. I don't know why everyone doesn't do it.
I'm interested to note that Vivienne Westwood clearly bought Margaret Thatcher's scalp at all.
Now I'm thinking about it, Vivienne Westwood does have a weird style, a weird pattern, doesn't she?
So what's your answer?
Vivienne Westwood.
And what's your answer?
I think Noel Edmonds.
You're saying Noel Edmonds. Well, the answer is Noel Edmonds. This was his response in an interview in 2006 when asked about his fashion during his time presenting Saturday morning kids show Multicoloured Swap Shop. So that's the end of the round, and I can tell you that it is a draw. Over the break, see if you can complete this quotation from Albert Einstein and a quote from 1950, the same year he published On the Generalised Theory of Gravitation. But then you knew that already. If A is a success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is what? If the computer room in your house is free, why not use it to tweet your answer to @somethingIsaid? And we'll see you after the break. Was it something I said? Before the break, we asked you to complete this quotation from Albert Einstein. If A is a success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is what?
Was he quite randy?
Not when I met him.
He was quite notoriously up for it. So I'm just wondering whether Z is sex.
No, it's very surprising.
Oh, is it? And Z is boo!
No, it's the opposite.
Oh!
Serenity, Buddhism.
Bit like, yes, you're getting not in...
Contentment.
No.
Stop saying that like no!
No,
How is contentment the opposite of boo?
Boo, certainty is, because boo is a surprise and certainty is not.
I wouldn't say certainty is the opposite of boo.
No, but well, as yet, there hasn't been a defined opposite of boo.
Well, this is my my pitch for the opposite of boo. Sure. Will be in the answer. You will know when Phil gives the answer what I have,
We will,
admittedly
you told
on the hoof, defined as the opposite of boo. And I already think I'm wrong.
Unless it's... Sorry, excuse me. That's the opposite of boo.
I would say that. Yes. I know now you're not going to agree with my definition of the opposite of boo, so... But, Phil, please give the answer.
If A is a success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is keeping your mouth shut.
Where was he? Prison? Get your head down, do your bird, do your time. Work on your theory of relativity. When you get out, bang.
Keeping your mouth shut is the opposite to any word, not just boo. So that is absolutely not the opposite of boo.
No, but you see what I was thinking?
If you creep up behind someone and go... They don't go... Hey!
Well, look, I saw this coming. I don't really stand by it.
hang on.
But all I can say is I was sincerely trying to help. Why was Einstein a worry to his parents as a child?
I think they thought he was slow at school or something like that.
They did think he was very slow, to the extent that he didn't really speak in full sentences until he was 9. And at last, at the supper table one night, he broke his silence to say, "The soup is too hot." Greatly relieved, his parents asked him why he'd never said a word before. Einstein replied, "Because up to now, everything was in order."
But, Dave, if you were a parent, how could you not resist if your child didn't say anything for 9 years and suddenly went, "The soup is cold," not say, "Shut up."
In 1919, Einstein married his cousin Elsa, which actually breaks another law of relativity. Now, the next round is called Key Words. We've taken a famous quotation and ripped 2 key words out of it, leaving it lying bloodied and bleeding on the floor. All the panel have to do is accurately work out what the original quote said. It's sort of CSI quotations. Here's a quotation from one of Winston Churchill's speeches in 1940. You should know it, as it's rather famous, so I'll award points to the team that gets closest to the exact wording. As your first clue, Phil, can we have 2 keywords, please?
Beaches and fields.
Now, that's got to ring a few bells. Everyone thinks they know this. But let's see how close you can get to the actual quote.
He used to sleep, didn't he, for about 3, 4 hours during the day?
And 8 at night.
He had late nights and then naps.
But he drank a lot during the day,
And he
didn't
drank a lot.
He had black dog.
He did have black dog.
Yeah.
Black dog was is what he
depression.
called his depression,
yeah.
wasn't it?
He had depression, he was an alcoholic, and he slept a lot during the day.
Sounds like me.
So let's have another. I'll give you another clue. A word that you might not definitely know is in this quote, but you might. What's the 3rd word, please, Phil?
Hills.
Ah. This is alluding to that speech where he made and he was trying to buoy up the country about saying, "We'll fight them here, we'll fight them in the front room, we'll fight them in the kitchen, we'll fight them down the pub." When are we going to stop fighting them? I don't know, we're just going to keep going.
It was, we'll fight them on the beaches, we'll fight them in the fields, not so much the hills.
If they're in the hills, we'll wait till they come down the hill and we'll fight them on the flat bit next to the ice cream van.
Yeah, I think we want the exact wording.
The closest to the exact wording will get the much prized point.
Is it, we will fight them on the beaches, we will fight them in the fields and on the hills. We will Never surrender.
Mickey and Gabby, you have a go.
We'll fight them. We'll fight them on.
Say it to him, don't say it to me.
We'll fight them on the beaches. We'll fight them on the fields. We'll fight them on the hills. That's our difference. Is we're going to say we'll fight them 3 times.
Yeah. Any more?
And I'll see you afterwards.
Great Britain will never surrender.
Great Britain will never surrender. Right. Phil, can we have the exact words?
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Yes.
I just wanted you to say park life at the end of
Park
it.
life.
I don't know who... you all thought it was we shall fight them. It's just we shall fight. He didn't specify. I think it was assumed he meant the Germans, and he went beaches. None of you got landing grounds. No. So I think you both teams were close. I'm going to give you a point each. There you go.
Okay.
This speech of Churchill's was voted the greatest moment in radio history earlier this year. Why should it not have been?
Well, have you heard Bruno Brooks?
Was it actually on television as opposed to radio?
It wasn't on television.
It wasn't on radio.
It wasn't on radio. That's absolutely right. Sony and the Radio Academy voted this speech the greatest moment in radio history, despite the fact that during the war, Churchill never recorded or broadcast this speech. Quotes from it were cited by a newsreader at the same time as the speech, but it was never recorded or broadcast till after the war. So...
Bit late.
Churchill was famously witty, but some of his quotes are apocryphal. There's a story that tells of Churchill responding to news that the Lord Privy Seal, who had earlier disrespected in Parliament, wanted to see him, with the words, "Tell the Lord Privy Seal that I'm sealed in the privy and can only deal with one shit at a time." Time for another one. This is a quotation from actor and Hellraiser Charlie Sheen after one of his many trips to rehab. It's not well known, so this time I'll award the points to whichever team gets nearest to it. As your first clue, Phil, can we have 2 keywords, please?
Tranquilizers and bourbon.
Is that how I get through a parents' evening?
I should say that we don't know it's bourbon. It could be bourbon.
Yeah,
it could be referring to the biscuit or the French royal house.
The only thing I found that matches the soothing balm of tranquilizers injected directly into my neck is a cup of tea and the bourbon biscuit.
Should we also leave open the possibility that he's referring to the whiskey?
Well, let's have the third keyword to see whether it pushes us biscuitwards or whiskeywards, or, and I'm alone on this one, I know, French royal housewards. Phil.
Joints.
Joints. Now, it doesn't mean... Phil's helpful mind there might be...
I was just helping you out on your sort of, you know...
Maybe that's his Ocado shopping list, just the one that he does every week.
He's just gone through a period of rehab when he says this.
That doesn't narrow down time.
No, but
it
may give you a clue as to his attitude, the attitude with which he said it.
He said, rehab really worked for me. I'll just get through the day now with tranquilizers, bourbon and a few joints. Something along those lines.
What do you reckon?
I think he probably used the word clean.
Yeah, clean. You think, now I'm clean, all I take are tranquilizers, bourbon and joints.
OK. Well, can we have the full quotation, please, Phil?
There was a time when I couldn't leave the house until I'd smoked 3 joints, taken tranquilizers and drunk a bottle of bourbon.
I don't think any of you deserve any points. So that's the end of the round, and looking at the scores, I can see that once again the teams are tied. Our next round is Was It Something I Said?, in which each team has to work out who said the following quotations. It'll be from someone on the show tonight or from our virtual guest, Jeremy Kyle. So, is it something Jeremy Kyle could have said? Or is it a quote not designed to sow misery amongst confused, dysfunctional families? So, first up is Richard's team. Who said the following? Was it Mickey, Gabby, Phil, me, or Jeremy Kyle?
Probably my clearest memory from childhood is my dad sitting in his overalls having a cup of tea with a newspaper under his arse to protect the chair.
See, my thought is, why does he need to protect this chair? Presumably a chair is harder than a newspaper. I don't see...
The overalls. You know, work, Richard, work, you know that thing where people get dirty.
I'm sorry, that was is all kind of cockney. Yeah, but that's all I heard. I just thought of it. Jeremy Kyle.
You think Jeremy Kyle? Well, the answer is Phil Daniels. Phil, you can explain to Richard.
Well, my dad was a High Court judge and... No, he used to wear overalls. Because he was a caretaker in a block of flats. And,
so there would be... I think the key thing is, Richard, there would be something on the overalls.
Look, I misread the quote, I got it wrong, and yes, I should be punished. And I must pay for my upbringing with my fabulously wealthy Nigerian father. And the Norwegian heiress he married on his rounds as a TV repairman.
So next up, it's Mickey's team. Who said the following? Was it Richard, Ed, Phil, me, or Jeremy Kyle?
I'm not too proud to self-Google every so often.
Possibly Ed or possibly Mr. Kyle. The reptile.
I really don't like the fact that I'm now even a choice. I don't like the fact that people are actually going, it was either Ed Byrne or Jeremy Kyle.
It's not nice, is it?
Quite insulting.
Not nice being lumped in with Kyle, is it? No. There's so many Jeremy Kyle-style things in your life.
Is it ironic? Is it Richard because it's ironic? I'm not too proud to self-Google.
It's like sitting here with Rory Bremner. OK, I think we should...
Yeah.
We're gonna go for a bit of a wild card here, and we think it may be Richard.
Ah, well, the answer is... me.
You, after everything you said about the internet.
Have you never Googled yourself?
No. No, I'm too busy masturbating like a normal man.
Are you masturbating over your own name?
Of course I am!
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. And a quick look at the scores tells me that it is a draw. Thank you to Nicky and Gabby, Richard and Ed, and to our guest narrator, Phil Daniels. And we leave you with the words of novelist John Galsworthy. The beginnings and endings of all human undertakings are untidy. And so, with that in mind, it's only left that that this is the... There won't be the next... The other one will be, but this is finished. And so, bye!
And the lads are back next Sunday at the slightly later time of 10:05. There's a lot of pressure